The lights shined brightly on the stage of the African opening ceremony. This year's opening ceremony was good. Not great, but just good. Little did anyone know that the guests of African would be visited by a living legend. The lights on stage dimmed at the end of the ceremony as everyone prepared to stand up from their chairs, before an announcer suddenly said over the loudspeaker, "And now, here for the first time in African history, I'd like to welcome Bethesda's Todd Howard to the stage." There was an awkward silence. A silence so quiet the footsteps could be heard backstage. His footsteps, however, began to grow louder and louder as Todd Howard himself walked out on stage. Todd reached out into his jacket pocket and pulled out a microphone before turning it on, causing that loud static noise to ring across the loudspeaker for a second before the audio levels normalized. Todd put the microphone up to his lips and said in a slowly smooth voice, "Why hello Electroporn, it's me, Bethesda's Todd Howard." A few awkward claps and a cough or two could be heard in the audience as Todd stood there staring down the audience. "I know my arrival isn't expected, but here at Bethesda, we love surprises, especially surprises for our fans." The silence was somehow even greater as the confusion continued to spread. "Now I know what you're thinking. Todd, what are you doing at African? What's going on?" And I'm here to answer all these questions and more. Todd casually took off his jacket and dropped it on the floor. "So, you want to know why I'm here? Well, how about instead I answer why you're here? You see, you're here because you're furries. And here at Bethesda we love our fans, especially our furry fans." Todd walked over to a nearby stool that was used as a prop earlier and sat down. "That's why we partnered up with Africa, the National Human Genome Research Institute, and Based by Canada, to make all your dreams come true. We've been working very hard to make this something special, and we're here to deliver." A projection came on behind Todd with the words, "The Elder Scrolls 6, African Edition." "For the first time ever, if you pre-order The Elder Scrolls 6, you can have your own real furry wife or husband." Todd stood up abruptly, causing the stool he was sitting on to fall over and hit the floor. "Our genetic researchers have painstakingly worked day and night to make actual Anthro people real. It works. It's real and it works perfectly. They all laughed at you for years, but who's laughing now?" The awkward silence continues, with minutes feeling like hours, before one brave soul stood up from his seat and began to clap. More followed. The clapping grew louder and louder as the audience began to cheer loudly. The audience chanted, "Todd! Todd! Todd!" As Todd stood on stage with nothing but a casual grin on his face. Todd began to shout into the microphone, "We, here at Bethesda Studio, want to bring you all the experience you deserve." www.theelderscrolls.com/African appeared on the projector behind him. Todd suddenly stopped as the clapping slowly died down. He held the microphone close and began to talk softly into it. "You're all great fans, and we love our fans here at Bethesda. But I gotta go. There's this pizza place downtown that I heard was really good, but it closes in 30 minutes. If I don't go, well, and I regret it forever." Todd began to walk off stage to the sound of roaring applause. He walked backstage and out the back door where his limo was. Todd approached the limo and opened the door. Inside the limo was an Argonian girl, Todd's waifu. Todd got into the limousine and put his arm around her. before leaning in and whispering to her softly, "I was in the chess club."